Welcome to this week's episode of the Compliance Digest, presenting topics on all things compliance related. My name is Alex Krenke, and joining me this week is Jennifer Greene, the Manager of New Business Development here at Quest CE. Jenny, welcome back.
Thank you, Alex.
This week, we're going to be talking about a really heinous story that came out back in 2007 is when it started, and it just is getting wrapped up now. So we're going to run through this $80 million variable annuity scam, talk about the parties involved, how it happened, and then run through some tips on making sure this doesn't happen in your own firm. So Jenny, if you could just run through the timeline and walk us through the beginning and how we ended up to where we are today.
Sure, Alex. And I want to reference, before I go through the timeline, that everything is from the SEC. I'm referencing the SEC. Mr. Horowitz recruited people to help him steal personal health information from hospice and nursing home patients so he could designate them as a death benefit annuity on a variable annuity. And then he went and sold those products to wealthy investors. And one of these people that he actually recruited and, became, his buddy in this, they falsified a variety of documents, including forms designed to help determine if certain investments are suitable for customers, one being the supervisor of the other. As a result of all these falsifications, insurance companies issued these variable annuities, and they probably wouldn't have done that if they knew that these forms were falsified. And then, even later on, Horowitz said, you know what, that's not enough money. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start packaging these and selling them to institutional investors to make more.
It's one of those stories where the plot just continues to thicken.
Yes.
and things just get worse and worse and worse until they eventually got caught.
Yes.
My question is, how did these guys keep this going on for so long, and how did it go through so many? It must have gone through multiple layers of compliance departments. It went through two different regulators, and nobody caught on until it was too late.
When I look at this, what I know is that a variable annuity does not require proof of insurable interest or the physical examination of the annuitant. The person whose demise would trigger the payout of those annuity death benefits. And even though the scheme is really elaborate and it sounds like this crazy deal that went on, and it is, it's not the first scheme that has happened out there. And they recognize this. You see senior training, how to protect seniors out there for firms. You see the NAIC came out with their suitability training that was required before selling a variable annuity. And I think that's what's out there. I think the oversight is sad, but it's just something out there.
So given the repercussions that we've seen from this, and really this example of total misbehavior on the part of these brokers, what can compliance departments take from this? Like, what can we learn and apply at our own firms to help make sure this never happens?
I would look, of course, to test and focus in the client suitability area. Review your audit processes. Obviously, those books and records were falsified. The information collected was falsified. All of this information of how they ran their business should have been caught by someone, whether it was a regulator, whether it was some of those broker-dealers, whether it was some of those life insurance companies that were backing these. And from there, you could provide additional training and review over what the firm's policies and procedures are regarding this type of practice.
You're exactly right. This is an excellent time to look at your firm's policies on recommending suitable products. It's been a FINRA hot topic for years now. It'll probably always be that way. But it's a good reminder, if you're doing branch office inspections, make sure that your reps are up to date on your current policies at your firm. Make sure that they're making suitable recommendations. Otherwise, obviously this is a pretty extreme example of misconduct, but it's possible, and you want to make sure that you're catching on to signs of something like this happening before it escalates to this level.
Yes.
And that'll actually cover it for this week. So I do want to thank you, Jenny, for joining us today and walking through this case and then talking about some real world things that we can take away and help to improve our own compliance departments.
Thank you, Alex.
That'll cover it. We'll see you again in another couple of weeks for another episode of the Compliance Digest.